Welcome into today's episode of the Fat Guy Podcast. This is the YouTube version. If you are not aware, we actually have an audio version only. Sometimes they overlap, but generally the episodes are completely different. What I talk about on the audio podcast will be completely different than what happens on the video. So if you're into podcasts, you can listen while you're driving into work or commuting or whatever. Fat Guy Podcast on, of course, Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store. I believe it's still on Stitcher, too, if you use Stitcher. Nevertheless, however you get your podcast, just look for Fat Guy Podcast. I'm going to be very quick and brief today and talk about why a ketogenic diet is so amazing and why, if you're asking yourself, should I try a ketogenic diet? I'm going to answer that for you with a resounding yes and then tell you why you absolutely should. So just to recap briefly who I am and why you should give a crap what I say. I'm a guy who's been fat since I was 5 or 6. I remember wearing husky jeans in the first or second grade. Hit a high of 407 pounds and have tried various different diets and things and been successful on some of them in the short term, some of them in a longer term. But I've never ran across anything like a ketogenic diet. It is just amazing. And we'll be talking about why over the course of this episode. So I've lost, today I actually hit 104 pounds lost, which this has been a stellar week. I just hit 100 pounds, I don't know, like 5 or 6 days ago. Won a big bet on healthywage.com. By the way, I'll put a link in the description below. If you want to make a bet on your weight loss, you can join me. And if you use my link, they'll add $40 to how much you can win. It'll help me too. They'll add $40 to how much I can win. So go click it if you appreciate anything I do. You can find us on all the social media, Fat Guy Podcast, where it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, Fat Guy Podcast. The website is thefatguypodcast.com. And we're actually going to be working on a new website soon. So hopefully we'll get that around. But all the audio podcasts are archived there. Is probably the best reason to go there. So there's a lot of reasons to try a ketogenic diet. There's tons of research behind it. Obviously, it works really well. It's very effective. So there's many, many reasons that you might want to try a ketogenic diet. But the most amazing thing about the ketogenic diet is when you become fat adapted. And this happens, it varies by person. I may have become fat adapted earlier, but I don't think I got the full effects of it until my 17th week. And from everybody that I talked to, I was a late bloomer. Now, I loved it up through the 17th week. I don't know how much weight I'd lost, but it was a lot. I don't know, 20, 30 pounds or something, 35, I don't know. It was a lot of weight. But around the 17th week, I woke up one morning and I had zero hunger that day. And I was never starved. Don't get me wrong. I didn't wake up starving every day, but I would wake up and I'd be up about an hour and I'd be hungry. I'd want something to eat. But I was never ravenous. But around the 17th week, suddenly I woke up and I wasn't hungry and I could go for hours without ever thinking or feeling I wanted food. And then I would eat, 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something. And then I wouldn't be hungry the rest of the day. And it would be like, it'd finally be 7 and I'd be like, crap, I forgot to eat, because I try to eat in a short time window between noon and 7 or noon and 8 at the latest. And I'd be like, crap, I haven't eaten anything. I'm not hungry, but I don't want to live off 500 calories a day. I don't think that's healthy. So I'd have to remind myself to eat. And this just happened day after day. And then it just became a way of life. And so hunger, and especially ravenous hunger, is a thing of the past for me. And to me, granted, there's all kinds of other amazing things that the ketogenic diet does. But for me, hunger, the lack of hunger, is the most amazing thing. Not only does the ketogenic diet work by turning your body into a fat-burning machine, so there's this whole metabolic process that switches over and happens, and it causes your body to actually want to burn your fat and be able to burn the fat you have. So from a metabolic, physiological standpoint, it's amazing. But and I guess the hunger is physiological as well. We've been so trained to think that hunger is mental. You need more willpower. You're just a fat slob. You just can't control yourself. And it's not a willpower thing. It's a physiological thing. It's a metabolic thing. Those pathways that regulate that have been shut down, the insulin hormone that triggers fat storage or fat burning and all this kind of stuff. It's been dysregulated and it's been horrible. And then leptin, the hormone that tells you when you're full, it's been completely disrupted. And so the normal pathways for hunger, you don't have them. And then when you combine with that we're all eating a high sugar, high carb diet, which causes peaks and crashes in your blood sugar, which brings on hunger. I mean, there's no way you can't be hungry all the time unless you do a ketogenic diet. And once you become fat adapted, the hunger goes away. It's the most amazing thing. Here's a quick example, and then I'm going to go because I promised I'd keep this video short. So I had to go to the eye doctor today to get my glasses readjusted. They didn't do the lenses quite right or something. And I didn't eat anything because I never eat anything when I get up. And I knew that I'd probably be back around lunch or something the normal time I eat. But I get there. Turns out they got my appointment wrong. My appointment is like an hour and a half later than I thought. So I had to kill an hour and a half, which was fine. Then when I got through with that, I said, you know what? It's just, I was going to buy groceries tonight, but I've just been out today. I'm just going to buy groceries. And I wanted to buy some new clothes because, man, my clothes have been big. I've been holding off on buying new clothes, let me tell you. But I was like, and the other thing is now I can buy something off a rack, which I never could before. I couldn't go buy, a 3X shirt off the rack, which is about the largest you'll find anywhere. When I started this, 5X was tight on me. Then I got into a loose 5 and then a 4, and now I can finally get into a 3. So it's just, I can buy a 3X shirt, but the only ones I've worn are ones that I bought like 2 years ago as motivation to lose the weight. And I've been wearing those 2 3X shirts. And other than that, I've just been wearing the big, heavy, fat stuff. And I'm a person who saves my jeans. So I've always saved my jeans. I have jeans going back to the mid-90s, I think. So I'm good on jeans. Except those stone-washed, man. Who else remembers stone-washed? I'd throw those away, even though they fit. I don't know. I didn't throw them away. I still got them, but I don't know that I can bring myself to wear them. Anyway, so I bought a few clothes. Not many, just a few clothes. Anyway, by the time I get home, it's really late. It's way past when I would normally eat lunch, and I haven't even thought about it. I unpacked the groceries, and it's so crazy because I can remember, looking back how my life used to be. And if I went grocery shopping or something first, shopping for groceries would have made me ravenous. I was not once hungry in that grocery store. Not once did I get hungry. I was just shopping for food that I needed. I knew I needed this. I knew I needed. It was a very mental thing. It was a very up here kind of thing rather than a down here in your gut kind of thing. When you're buying stuff based off of a list I had a list on my phone. But I was looking for new things. I'll do that too. I'll stroll around and look for new things. Is there something in here that I haven't thought of that's low carb that I can eat? And you're never once tempted to eat. I was never once tempted to eat. So normally back in the old days when I got home, shopping for groceries would have made me hungry. Plus being gone that long and not eating would have made me hungry. But no, I came in and I put the groceries away. Then I went back and I was excited to try on the new clothes I bought. And I took some pictures of those, and I'll probably just pop some of those in the next video that I do. But I took some pictures, and then I had to catch up on some emails. I mean, I did all this stuff. And then I have a Snapchat. By the way, Fat Guy Podcast on Snapchat. Add me. So then I was like, I want to eat this salad that I bought because I found a salad, and I wanted to go over the label and how the carbs can be deceiving and how you count them for my Snapchat viewers. And I did all this stuff. I mean, back in the old days, the first thing I would have done when I'd come home, I would have threw the perishable stuff in the fridge, and then I would have grabbed something to eat, and that would have been it. It would have been over. It would have been history. So that's the most amazing thing about keto. I see him coming up on 10 minutes. That's the most amazing thing about keto is once you become fat adapted, hunger is a thing of the past. And it's just remarkable. It's so remarkable. Like I can't even tell you. Look, if you've debated trying a ketogenic diet, I have a couple of words of advice for you. The first one is yes, do it. The second one is commit to doing it right. Don't halfway do it. Get those 20 carbs or less a day. Go find you a decent ketogenic calculator. You can just Google keto macro calculator. And try to get a good range of about how many calories you should be eating or whatever. But you can just do it with MyFitnessPal, I think most people, unless you're really small, can lose weight on 1,600 calories. If you're really large, you absolutely can. If you're a little large, you probably can. But smaller people may need to eat a lower amount, 12, 13, 14. But look, don't stress about that. Just stress about changing your macros and getting 20 carbs or less a day. Less than 20 carbs. And I would make that total carbs the first 2 weeks. So total carbs. After the first 2 weeks, you can move to net carbs then, and that means you just subtract the fiber, but only on vegetables and stuff. Don't subtract fiber on, first of all, you probably shouldn't even be buying Atkins stuff or crap like that. But if you do and you're weak, or I don't want to use weak, but if you feel like you want something like that, that's not a whole food, you can't really, just don't trust subtracting the fiber from it. From fruits and stuff, stuff that's real food, absolutely subtract the fiber. I just be careful with the other stuff. My best word of advice would be, and I'm actually working with some people now to help them lose weight. I was talking to somebody yesterday. My word of advice would be, just go with the whole food for 6 weeks. You can do it. You can do anything for 6 weeks. Whole foods. It's just, the meats, you can work some cheeses in there. Just make sure it's good, sturdy cheeses, not singles and processed stuff. But go easy on that. Don't eat too much of that. But mostly make it meats and non-starchy vegetables, man. And add your fats in there. Use that butter and, cook those vegetables in that butter. Cook it in the oil, coconut oil, olive oil, and enjoy. All right, I went much longer than I anticipated. I appreciate you watching. Subscribe if you enjoy what I do. And more importantly than subscribing, because that's about me, comment, because that's about you. Comment, ask a question. You can contact me on social media. I prefer Facebook because I'm an old guy. So shoot me a message, Fat Guy Podcast on Facebook, or shoot me a message on Snapchat, Fat Guy Podcast. Add me. I'm always showing what I'm eating and how I'm making it, and so that's a good way to live vicariously through me. I'm kind of boring and plain in the way I eat, but you can pick up some tips from me and it may help you along the way. Nevertheless, if you do like it, give it a thumbs up and hit that bell. Subscribe and then hit that bell so it'll tell you the next time that we have an episode up. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate every single person that watches. I really do.